In this episode, I want to talk to my favorite people, people who are studying or people who are interested in studying while they are working, raising kids, or running businesses or any other things on the side. We are still on the student development series where we are looking at how to finish your qualification in record time. That's basically what this series is all about. My name is Dr. Sanele Kamete. I'm still your favorite life and career consultant. Let me talk to these amazing people. But before I do that, I want to say, guys, I appreciate what you are doing for yourself. I am inspired by the fact that you want to study while you have got kids, while you are working, while you have got a demanding business, while you are running other community projects. Probably you are a leader in church, but you want to carry on with your studies. This is not a simple decision. This is not also a simple thing. I want you to know that it is going to take a lot of time, a lot of energy from you. And that's the reason why I want us to look at what does this journey means. I want you to understand what this journey means before, preferably before you can start it. But of course, we will talk about what this journey means to someone who's already in the journey. So if you are still thinking about it, I want you to sit down with either your partner, with your family members, with your kids, if you have got kids, or anyone that is probably playing a support structure in your life, or someone that is in your life. Let them know about this decision that you're about to take before you take it. Take them through what it means to go back to school and what it means for them or what it means to them, because there will be a shift. Things are not going to be the same. Things are going to be different. I've heard people say a PhD will get you divorced. I'm not advocating for that. But what they were trying to say is you are definitely going to think differently. You are going to be expected probably to read more, to be at school a little bit more, and to spend time working on your schoolwork. So I want you to sit down with these people and engage with them. Let them add what they think. If you have a partner like myself, I want you to look at whether it is the right time. I'm not saying your partner should tell you not to go back to school or to go back to school, but it's a healthy discussion that I want you to have with your partner, with the people that you have in your life. If you have got kids that are a little bit older, I want you to have a conversation with them around what will change, what it will mean that you are going to school. I think this conversation is also important because it will be different even financially. There are some qualifications that are expensive, that will need more money, so you need to have a conversation around that. And I want you guys to be honest with each other. As much as it sounds wow that you are going back to school, whether you want to start school, especially as a matured person, whether you want to start your PhD, your master's, your honors, I know it sounds wow when you tell people, and trust me, everyone is going to say, it's a good idea, friend, you should do it. But what is lacking is the honest conversation around what does this mean? What would it take? Because you will need to have energy. You will need to plan around where you are going to study, how are you going to study, what do you even have the time? So the first people that I want you to have a conversation with is your immediate people. And then there is the second group of people, which is the people that you either work for, you work with, or the people that are working for you in case you are running your own business. It's a conversation that you also need to have. It doesn't need to be deep with other people. Some, it will be more of, hey, I am doing this or I'm thinking of doing this. Some, it will need that they sort of like provide a plan for you or a support structure, kind of a plan on how you are going to do this. For example, I'm working, which means if I want to study, beside that, I would like the institution that I work for to pay for my studies. I will also need to sort of like get some permission from my line manager, looking at what I am doing, my load of work and everything that I am involved in before they can allow me to go and study. Yes, they might not directly say no. Hey, it's a bad idea, but they will make me understand what it means from their point of view, which is very, very important. And remember, you haven't started. You are still thinking about this idea. We will get to someone who's already in the journey. So the other people that are very important is your immediate. I wouldn't say immediate family because I've spoken about that. It's your parents, if you still have parents. Some of them might not even understand why you want to go back to school. Some might not understand what it means to go back to school. And they are there to play a huge supportive role. So they need to be involved in this conversation. You can have a separate conversation than the one that you are going to have with your sisters, or let me say your siblings, with your kids, with your spouse, with your boyfriend or girlfriend. It's probably a different conversation because they play a different role in your life. Acknowledging them and letting them know that you're about to do this is very, very important. And I want you to then be honest with yourself. Do I even need this? What does it mean for me now, personally, to go back to school? Is it adding any value? Am I going to school just to have belts? You know, when people graduate, they will be like wearing 3 belts to show off on social media, which is nice. I love when people do that. But studying and wearing those belts are two different things, by the way. The belts are a result of this late night sleep, the harsh, ness that you have to go through, probably with your supervisor or your lecturer. Those belts, they don't communicate that. So I want you to put aside the idea of, showing off on social media, because that's probably after a year or 2 or 3 years, depending on the type of qualification that you are doing. I want you to confront yourself and look at the purpose for you going back to study. I don't want you to stack qualifications. I want you to be serious about going back to school. I want you to go back, especially postgraduate studies. They should be meaningful. They should be a stepping stone to another level, either level of income, either level of knowledge and skills. It must mean something. So I want you to be very careful about this. And then once you have done this, you are definitely going to look at, of course, your finances. As I've indicated, if you are alone, of course, you are going to sit down with your finances. If you are not living alone, or if you are married, you have a partner, you will discuss that. And you are selling this idea to yourself, to the people around you, to the people that you work for, or the people that work for you. So it has to be a clear idea before you embark into it. Okay, now you are there. Let's talk about now you have started. I think we are now bringing to the conversation those that probably have said when this episode started, suddenly, what about us who are already there? So I'm including you in this conversation. You are now at tertiary, depending on which one are you in. And I think not even depending. I want you to understand the tertiary that you are in. I want you to understand what it means to be where you are. I want you to understand the qualification that you are in. What does it entail? be clear about it, and I want you to know what is required, which means it's not just about being accepted. It's not about paying the registration and getting registered. It's also about finding out whether before you register or after you have registered, what is this course outline, or what is the course outline for this course? What does it entail? What is expected of me? So that you now do your time budgeting correctly, because you will need to have time, which means you will need to know what is expected. For example, how many tests, how many assignments, how many exams. You need to know all of that. How many modules are there in that qualification? So you need to understand all of that. There are people who have wasted so much money registering and not finishing their qualification. And there are those that didn't finish in record time because they didn't think about these things, which are very, very important, especially because there is money and time involved. So once you understand the qualification, I want you to know, is it online, face-to-face? When is it face-to-face? When is it online? Who are the people that you are going to study with? Because these are going to be part of your support structure, especially when you are a little bit older. Sometimes it might be difficult to sit with 25-year-olds when you are 38 or 45. But I want you to never give up because of that. But I want you to know at the same time that it might be, emotionally draining to be in a class with 25-year-olds in that master's program while you are 43. Because these people, especially if you're going to work in groups, these people will be just doing whatever, and some of them will be stressed by you, who will constantly tell them, you need to pick up your daughter, you need to pick up your son, or your son is playing rugby, or your husband is called, or whatsoever your business is calling you. So they are going to be probably annoyed. So you need to find that gel amongst yourself. I want you to understand each other. I want you to be very careful about this journey, because this journey is going to be either exciting or the most horrible journey ever. And I prefer the most exciting, but with hard work. So let's not substitute hard work in the most exciting. So once you have understood that, of course, get into the space of who is lecturing you, and understand these people as well. Especially if you are at postgrad, you are doing research, understand who is supervising you. What are they involved in? What are they busy with? Understand these people, because you are not going to wake up at 1 o'clock and write an email to them and expect feedback or whatsoever. You will understand the type of people that they are, what are they busy with, the projects that they are involved in, and how to have a conversation with them. What I'm trying to avoid is for you to fight with a 36-year-old, which is me, and I'm supervising you, for example, as a 45-year-old. It's going to be a very awkward conversation if you didn't take time to actually understand the person that you are going to be working with, especially if you are doing research at postgrad. So once you have understood, you have built this nice relationship with this person, it's time to hit the road. And when I say hit the road, it's unfortunate, and I need to carefully say this, it's unfortunate that you are a little bit matured. So you're probably going to have situations where you are being judged that you are a little bit old. By judge, I think maybe I've used the wrong word. The expectation, maybe let me use that one. The expectation will be a little bit different from the 21-year-olds. Because if a 21-year-old or a 19-year-old gives me headache as a lecturer, I kind of understand. They're young, full of energy, their heads are all over the place and all of that. But when you are 40, the assumption, society thinks you have, in fact, life begins at 40. So society thinks, you know what you are doing, you know why you came back, because then why would you want to come back if you are not serious about your studies? And seriously speaking, I want you to be aware that you will be expected to behave differently. I know you will want to be like everyone else, be treated like everyone else, but trust me, you are not going to be treated the same. When you sit in my office as a matured student, even the way I speak to you, it's going to be different. So I want you not to fight with that. Don't fight. I want you to embrace the fact that you are a little bit matured, you are older, and I want you to ask your lecturers and whosoever that is involved on how you can make this experience sweet and great for everyone. It's a very important conversation to have. And I want you, when we talk about hitting the ball running, I want you to know that you will be expected to work hard. You will be expected to deliver. So the excuses that you have are nice only to you. They are acceptable only to you. They sound valid only to you. I have my own timetable. I remember my supervisor. I hope she's not going to watch this episode because she will say to me, Sanele, if you missed this deadline, I have other students. She will give me a breakdown of her time, what she's busy with, what she's involved with, her traveling and all of that. She will say, if you missed end of April, it means I will see your work maybe end of May or mid-June or something like that. And she will explain what will happen, why I wouldn't hear from her that long. So that made me really make sure that I meet that deadline. So it is very important that you are aware of those kind of things. You work hard, you deliver, no excuses. I mean, it's nice to tell people that you are studying, but it's more nicer to show that you are studying. We have a habit of being loud about what we do instead of letting what we do be loud on our behalf. Maybe let me say this again. We love to be loud about what we are doing. Tell people about what we are doing, what we are involved in, instead of letting what we do be loud on our behalf. Someone said, in fact, a friend of mine in one seminar said, look, social media is great, but we are not all about social media. Social media is not us. Social media is a projection of what we do, who we are, and we share the stuff that we want people to know. So we are happy that you are registered. We're excited that you went back to school. But we are more excited around the issue of you studying, working very hard, and making sure that everything doesn't collapse. Please, if you are studying, make sure that nothing collapses just because you are studying. People, yes, are going to feel the strain, but it shouldn't collapse everything. Your marriage should continue, your kids, you should still be a mom, a father, and everything else should continue. Yes, there will be some challenges there and there, but it should show that you're still a responsible person, even though you are studying. I'm expecting to have a conversation with those that will love to sit down and say, Sanele, take me through individually now. I hear on this amazing episode, you talk about these things, but now I want to share what is in my life. How can I do this, particularly as an individual? I'm interested and I look forward to have that conversation with you. And I'm sure that you are going to share this episode with everyone in your cycle who is studying, because there are a lot of people who think studying, working, raising kids, running businesses is a nightmare. Is not necessarily a nightmare if you have got the right tools. And the right tools means you need to find a career coach or a career consultant such as myself. The team is telling me my time is up. But before I leave, guys, I want you to know that we are behind your studies. If you think you need someone to talk to, make sure that you reach out. And the mesh is available. It has these symbolic words. It's possible because it's doable. We are actually saying to you, your studies are possible. They are doable. If I were to give a context, I will say I got married on my final year of my first degree, my undergraduate degree. So my entire postgrad, I was married, I had kids, I was working. So it is possible because it's doable. Let's sit down and talk about it. But continue to tell a friend, to tell a friend to subscribe. We thank you.